talk about high school, or specifically, 10 years since I graduated high school. Hello people to what a YouTube fam. My name is Kim Jackson and welcome to this latest episode of KLMFL Friendship and Love. So y'all, it's officially been 10 years since I graduated high school. It's been crazy because I've been looking at the posts on Facebook or Instagram from my friends, and it really doesn't feel like 10 years ago. You know what I mean? It feels like it was yesterday, but then also long ago at the same time. Because, some of those things are still within me. Some of those things I still carry, and some of those things are not me at all. I was rereading some of my Facebook posts from back in the day. Oh my gosh, hella scary how I was. And honestly, please forgive me, guys. Please forgive me, high school peers, for how crazy I was back then. Because, oh my gosh, it's very embarrassing. But yeah, just reliving those memories, because on this channel, I have my KLMs, my KLMFL Mega Dailies, and I basically vlogged every day of the beginning of my last year of high school into the first half of my first half of my first year of college. And going back and seeing those clips of videos, my senior prom where I ripped my pants, or seeing those pep rallies that we had, or I think what's the latest one that I watched was basically marching band, and just knowing all the field trips that we went on. It's been kind of crazy to reminisce on that time of life, because there was such a precious innocence about it, no responsibility, nothing, no have to worry about bills or about drama and romance and all that stuff. And it was just so nice. It was so peaceful. And at the time I knew that too. I didn't want to grow up, I did not want to I didn't want to grow up to be an adult or a man at that time either. I was okay in my space. And it's funny talking with my homegirl from college the other day. She was just like, I'll be at peace. I'll be at peace when I can just I'm trying to think about exactly what she said, but she was just like, I'll be at peace when I can travel somewhere, or when I can do this destination. I feel like I'm behind, and me who's traveled all across the world in the past 2.5 years, I was just like, no, that's really not the thing though. Yes, I was fortunate to do that, but that's not really the thing, because I feel like this is a recurring conversation we have. It's yeah, I'll be happy when I get this job, or I'll be happy when I graduate with this degree, or yeah, I'll be happy when I get my first apartment in my favorite city. But there's always new goals. There's always new things that are gonna keep popping up. You know what I'm saying? There's always the next level of life that we have to get to, or we feel like we're behind. People are getting married right now. People are having kids. People are running marathons. People are traveling to Japan. But the 20s really is just all to each their own, right? It doesn't really matter when you get there. It just matters that you do or you don't. In some things, do you really need to get married? I don't know. Do you really need to have kids? Who cares? Do you need to travel the world at this time if you're not financially stable? No. There's a bunch of things that's we don't need to jump to the next thing. We just need to be happy and satisfied in our current state, because it's always going to be a next thing. The next thing after what you do everything is death. You know what I'm saying? No, we just need to be comfortable in the space that we're in the time that we're in, and not rush to the next thing, because it's just the beauty about it. And that's how I felt in high school, for the most part, I would say, as being a crazy kid. But I'm thinking about some of those people, for my videos. Thinking about some of the people in my I was that were in my classes and stuff like that. How are they doing? I hope they are doing well. I hope they are living their best life. You know what I'm saying? I saw one pop up on my feed the other day that I haven't seen in years, haven't thought about them in years. And I was like, whoa, that's so dope. They're graduating with a doctorate. That's amazing. I'm honestly so proud of where we all came from, and what we're all doing now. And some of them, I wish them happy birthday too recently. A lot of them have birthdays in May. So I'm just thinking about them as well. Trying to see where I can fit in my schedule to hang out, and just reach out to them for maybe get a lunch or something, or a cup of boba, cup of like not coffee, but like like some boba or something like that. Just really trying to be intentional when I have the time, but it's hard. Like nothing about just being an adult is scheduling. Like you gotta schedule things with people. Like we all have our lives. We got work, we got our family. Or we got like plans with other people or plans that we want to, things that we want to do ourselves. And that's really like what we got to do now is that we really just got to plan and like schedule people in. It's not like college where you can just pop up on someone's door and just knock and just like walk in. Like it's not really possible anymore. Which is it's a beauty to that, but kind of sucks as well. But just like man, like the greatest feeling that I felt at the time was just graduating high school. Like going through 12 years of school and just being done. Being done with all that, but having to go to college and basically do it all over with, a lot more freedom. Just amazing. And like, you know, going back to the topic about friends, like I was on LinkedIn too. Well, I was not on LinkedIn, but I got an email that some people added me from LinkedIn, and I was just like, wow, this is crazy. I haven't seen any one of these people in a minute. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that we'll eventually be able to link up or eventually be able to talk. Because it's been a while. It's been a while. And like I said, I hope they're doing their best. So, but yeah, I just really wanted to just reminisce and just talk about like 2016 in general, or well, at least being in high school. And my high school reunion is gonna be later this year, so there's probably more to talk about the people that I saw and us reminiscing about events. But just like it was just on my feed, and I just thought about all the things that I did as a kid too. Like I was in journalism, I was in track, I was in marching band. I did all that. Link crew, part of it was for the college essays, but part of it was just because I just wanted to do everything that I could at the time, because I knew this is like there's only one chance at this. There's only one era for this. I think about just like the people that signed my yearbook. I got my yearbook. I got my senior year yearbook always, not always on me, but like in my apartment, like always in an accessible place, because sometimes I use it to hype me up, because sometimes I'd be down, be getting down on myself, and I'm just like I'm not that, like I'm broken, and like yeah, I mean that part, I'm just like really sad, and I kind of read letters, and I kind of read like what people said to me as like something to build me up, something to uplift me, in times of trouble or in times of need. But yeah, I hope that you guys had a great high school experience, or if not, shoot, hopefully you're making the best of life now. Take care, y'all.